The land explored by our ancestors extends from the Altai to the White Sea. The scientific expedition, Trails of Nomads, continues to unveil the path of our forefathers. A group of scientists led by pilgrim of the 21st century, Saparis Kakov, has already visited more than 50 countries. Scientists reveal the exciting secrets of the past. Watch an amazing story of a great journey in the Trails of Nomads program. The 13th century played an important role in the history of India. The quality of life has changed dramatically. Culture has been developing since that period. Architecture was flourishing. This is directly related to the spread of the Islamic religion in India and the increasing influence of the rulers of Turkic origin. Famous Muhammad Haidar Dughlat, who was originally from the Great Steppe, was among them. For 10 years, he led the vast Kashmir region. An outstanding statesman and scientist, our famous ancestor Muhammad Haidar Dughlat was buried in his summer residence in Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir. Here, a group of researchers from the Trails of Nomads scientific expedition made its next stop. Our outstanding ancestor, the philosopher, poet, and commander Mirza Muhammad Haidar Dughlat, is buried in the main city of Kashmir, in the center of Srinagar. So we especially came to his grave to pay tribute.
Haydar Dughlat жатыр. Bunun basına biz әдейі келіп отырмыз.
This place is called Mazar-i-Salatin. It is located in the center of Srinagar. The most outstanding personalities who have made a great contribution to the development and prosperity of Kashmir rest in the burial complex. Among them is our ancestor Muhammad Haidar Dughlat. He was buried here by his students in 1551.
Бұл кісі 52 жыл өмір сүрген. 1499 жылы туып.
He lived only 52 years. Born in 1499 on the territory of present-day Central Asia, Dughlat made a huge contribution to the development of Kashmir. In 1532, he first arrived on this land. A year later, he returned to his homeland. In 1540, he again came to Kashmir and stayed there until his last days.
7 жылдан кейін қайтадан Кашмирге келген 1540 жылы. Содан 1551 жылға шейін осында болды.
A tombstone was placed twice over the grave of Muhammad Haidar. The first was erected after his death in 1551. It is located north of the mulberry tree, which grows at the grave, and south of the tree there is a second stone. It was established by the British in the early 19th century.
300 жыл өткеннен кейін 1808 жылы осыраға ағылшындардың шығыс Индия
300 years later, after the British East India Company came to this land, the tombstone was destroyed. However, the Englishman named William Moorcroft, having visited this place, recognized and explored the works of Dughlat. Thus, he instructed to erect a new monument.
дегендерін білетіні, содан барып тапсырма берген. Мынаны жөндеу жөнінде.
The length of the first tombstone was more than 1 meter, width about 70 centimeters. Its foundation was destroyed by wars. The text of the ayat from the Holy Quran and the inscription, Allah is the sole creator of everything and Muhammad is his messenger, is carved on the stone. There are also couplets on the occasion of the tragic death of the scientist. In the dying hour of Mirza Muhammad Haidar Dughlat, the alarm bell of the kingdom of Shahid was heard. That was the injunction of Allah. Qaza-i-Ilahi became the date of his meeting with the Creator. Qaza-i-Ilahi is a chronograph, the date of death of Mirza Haidar. However, scientists have not yet reached a consensus on the resolution of this chronograph. The exact date of death is not yet known. Some scholars believe that this is the 957 year of the Hijrah. Others claim it is 958. According to our reckoning, these are 1550 or 1551 years. The second tombstone holds more information about the life of the outstanding personality.
It was the Moorcroft, the English veterinarian who was in the service, the British. He put an epitaph on him, in his name. In him, the genealogy of the Mirza Haidar is written in Persian. Yes, that's there. And that epitaph is also, it shows that here lies the body of Mirza Muhammad Haidar Dughlat, who was killed by the calamity, by the will of the God, and in the date is also written there.
According to the inscription on the stones, Muhammad Haidar Dughlat was born in the town of Uratobe. This is an ancient city between Fergana and Samarkand. He was a representative of the ruling nobility of the Turkic tribe Dughlat. His grandfather, Muhammad Haidar, was the ruler of Kashgar. Father Muhammad Hussain headed the western Mogolistan and was a reliable friend and ally of Sultan Mahmud. Relatives on the maternal side are no less famous and illustrious descendants of Shagataya. Mother Hope Nigar is the daughter of Junis Khan, the ruler of Mogolistan. His another daughter, Kutlik Nigar, is the mother of the famous Babur. That is, Muhammad Haidar and Muhammad Babur are cousins. This kinship is one of the reasons Dughlat traveled to India. In 1508, the father of Muhammad Haidar died during the war between Sultan Mahmud and Muhammad Shaibani. After that, a 9-year-old boy went to Kabul under the care of his cousin Babur. Having stayed there for about 4 years, the boy left for another uncle, the grandson of Junis Khan, Sultan Said in Kashgar. At that time, Muhammad Haidar Dughlat was a very smart young man. He was almost ready to become a ruler. He already served in the army and participated in military campaigns in the territory of modern South Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Tibet. He was engaged in the education of the heir of Sultan Said Abu al-Rashid. Unfortunately, the mentor did not see anything good from his student. In 1533, after Abu al-Rashid ascended the throne, he subjected his relatives to mass persecution under threats from the Dughlat tribe rulers. After this, Muhammad Haidar Dughlat was forced to arrive on Indian land.
He tried to invade Kashmir. He came to Kashmir via Ladakh, via Tibet, and he went back because of the pact they made with the rulers of at that time. Then he went into the service of Kamran, the brother of the Humayun, one of the sons of Zahiruddin Muhammad Babur. And after that, when Humayun was trying to, he was at war with Sher Shah Suri, he lost the battle and he has no place. And for that, the cousin brother came to his rescue and he says that I will try to invade Kashmir. And he succeeded in that.
According to the inscription on the tombstone, Mirza Haidar made 2 trips to Kashmir. For the first time, he arrived there by order of Khan Abu Said. Then he managed to reach Jharkhand and conquer Tibet. In the same year, he led the 4,000 cavalry and conquered Kashmir. However, he did not rule the country, but entrusted this to the former ruler, Shah Muhammad. Mirza Haidar returned to Tibet. Soon, Khan Abu Said entrusted him with a new business to conquer Lhasa. During this campaign, Muhammad Haidar left the army and headed to Badakhshan. He crossed Hindustan to meet with Humayun. Around 1540 in the Ganga River Valley, Humayun was defeated by Sher Shahtan, the ruler of the Suri dynasty. Then Muhammad Haidar embraced the second battle. With 450 warriors, he advanced from Lahore. He managed to conquer Kashmir. He ruled the country for almost 10 years.
He took very initiatives for the betterment of the people, and he put hammam. And hammam,
what he did in Kashmir?
He put introduced hammam in Kashmir. It is in place in the mosques. The hammam, we call it hammam. It's a Central Asian term. Maybe in Central Asia, this is hammam is called so. He made also payment made of the stones, the carved stones, pathways for this. He also made so many things for the betterment of the people. Mostly his life was, to make the rule stabilize his rule. That was his major part of his, administration was also there.
Kashmir has always been a geopolitically important region. All the main caravan routes of the Great Silk Road passed through it. Kashmir was a link between Ladakh, Kashgar, Khotan, East Turkestan, Mongolistan, and Karakoram. Close ties within the vast region have become a good impetus for the development of religions. For example, Buddhism from India spread to Kashmir and further Ladakh, Tibet, Mongolia, and Central Asia. Islam, on the contrary, came to India from the Central Asian region. Native of Persia, Rashid ad-Din Hamadani practices Islam in Kashmir. However, peace in the country was soon broken. The Mongol conqueror Zulchu brought chaos with his invasive raid. Amid this troubled time, Muhammad Haidar Dughlat became the ruler of Kashmir. To regulate controversial issues, he met with representatives of various religions, negotiated, and always put human values at the forefront.
Haidar Dughlat सफसम जो कोई चलवेक विपोम नीचे on उचिन.
Muhammad Haidar Dughlat is a unique person. He was an outstanding scientist commander. In addition, he possessed the best human qualities. He was fair and always helped his surroundings. For example, he married a widow who lost her husband. She did not possess unique features, but nevertheless, she became wife of the ruler. Mirza Haidar lived according to such principles of help and compassion.
Такого не было. Он на ней женился, потому что у него в сердце был все хорошего для человека.
Fair politics sooner or later gives results. During the reign of Mirza Haidar, Kashmir developed equal partnerships with Afghanistan, Iran, and several other countries. Many reforms have been carried out, thanks to which the economy has risen to a new level. Agriculture was well developing. A mint appeared where silver tenge was minted on behalf of the Mughal Emperor Humayun, and the financial system got stronger. A powerful army appeared. The welfare of the people has improved. All this gave a powerful impetus to the development of science and art. Kashmir has become a spiritual center. Mirza Haidar Dughlat has always served as an example for his entourage. He wrote the book Tarikh-i Rashidi and the epic Jahannameh. Both of these works preach the best human values and the idea of building a just society. As written in Tarikh-i Rashidi, descendants should not only know and honor their ancestors, but also analyze their lives and take advantage of the best experience of their fathers. The name of the book speaks of its content. Tarikh-i Rashidi means history of the path to the truth. This work consists of two parts. The first tells the story of the descendants of Chagatai, who ruled Kashgar and Mogolistan, and the second can be called a chronicle of life. It tells about the events of the 15th, 16th centuries in Central Asia, East Turkestan, Afghanistan, and India. There is also information regarding the Kazakhstan.
Tarikh-i Rashidi was a great monumental work, and when we go through this and the contemporary sources, they say that he was a die-hard Sunni. He was a die-hard Sunni, and he was at war with the Shias at that time. That is for political exigencies, not politics, to save the chair. Where Mir Shamsuddin Iraqi was in his buried. He first visited there, but after that time, due to to protect his chair, he became at war, because they were thinking that some people are conspiring against him to get him killed or to remove from the power.
As a result, Mirza Haidar died by the hands of his enemies. He was killed in the city of Hanpur, which was located next to Srinagar. The scientific expedition team visited this area to carry their research.
Қазіргі келіп тұрған жеріміз бұл Ханпур деп аталған ауыл. Біздің бабамыз Хайдар Дулайтының уақытында.
The village was called Hanpur. There used to be a fortress here. In 1551, there was a great uprising. Muhammad Haidar Dughlat died here.
1551 жылы осы арада үлкен көтеріс болып, соның нәтижесінде Хайдар Дулати осы арада қаза тауыпты.
Of course, the majority supported Mirza Haidar in all his activities. But there were those who sought to remove him from the throne. Therefore, they provoked people to rebellion through deception and slander. In particular, it was said that Muhammad Haidar Dughlat was in every way squeezing Kashmir citizens out of power and attracting more and more Mughals to their place. As a result, Haidar's life was under danger, and clashes became more frequent. The ruler, for whom stability in the country was above all else, tried to resolve the issue through negotiations. To do this, he left his family in the capital of Kashmir and arrived in Hanpur, which at that time was a military fortress. However, it had already lost its former power. It was defended by a detachment of only 6,000 soldiers.
And when he came to make a surprise attack here to the rebels, but during the night he got killed. The last words of Mirza Haidar Dughlat was "Kabahat Kardi." It is the end now coming to an end. So there are so many, the historians at that time, Hassan Ali, who was the contemporary of the Mirza Haidar Dughlat, wrote about this. He got killed. There are so many versions, different versions about his killing. But the consensus is that he got killed by his own people or by the arrow of the enemy.
The version that the enemies killed Muhammad Haidar seems to be true. This is confirmed by the information of the historian Hassan Ali. He wrote, "The next day in the morning, the people lost peace after witnessing the lifeless body of their ruler. The enemy tried to take Mirza Haidar's body, but the followers of the scientist did not allow it. He was later buried in the mausoleum of the sultans in Srinagar. No one dared to touch the descendants of the ruler. They were given the opportunity to leave for their historical homeland. Historical information about their further fate was not preserved."
Бұл кісінің артында қалған біз семьясын, бала шағасын, әйелін, оларға не болғанын білмейміз. Мүмкін ол кісілерді де мүмкін осылай өлтіру мүмкін.
We don't know what happened to the children, wife, and other close relatives. Perhaps they were also killed later. Or something else happened. All this requires research. This is a large field of activity for young historians. There are a lot of different information about the life of Muhammad Haidar. For example, there are many sources in Kashmir and Delhi universities. They relate generally to the entire history of the Turks and Kazakhs.
Кашмир университетінде, Дели университетінде, басқа жерлерде соны егер біздің ғалымдар келіп зерттейтін болса, көп мәліметтер табуға болады. Бұл кісіге байланысты, түріктердің тарихына байланысты, Қазақстанның тарихына байланысты.
A lot of Muslims live in Jammu and Kashmir. They make up 67% of the total population. In Kashmir, Muslims make up 98% of the total population. Mirza Haidar Dughlat is one of those who contributed to the spread of Islam in the region. He also made a huge contribution to the development of Indian culture, literature, architecture, art, and science. The legacy of the great ancestor to this day brings peoples and countries together. Kazakhstan and India continue cultural cooperation.
Конечно, это очень знаковая фигура для Казахстана, и очень все это вписывается.
Muhammad Haidar is an outstanding historical figure. Kazakhstan's program Ruhani Jangaru can be a great help in the study of his heritage. Thanks to the project, it became possible to study the white spots of national history, including the reign of our ancestors on Indian land. This period of time is of great interest to both Kazakh and Indian scientists.
Формировали здесь историю в Индии.
During the period of the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire, a certain part of the Kipchak Turks who migrated from Central Asia to India mixed with the local population. Our ancestors married local girls, became relatives and indigenous people. A whole Kipchak district appeared in the center of Delhi. People living here consider themselves descendants of the Turks. One of them is the head of the Kangra region, Aditya Katosh. I am a descendant of the Mughals. Our ancestors came to India before Babur. As far as I know, the historical homeland of the Mughals is the current territory of Kazakhstan. I intend to visit Kazakhstan, the land of my fathers. Historical ties that originate from the depths of centuries have become an occasion for enriching the language and culture of two fraternal peoples. To this day, Indians and Kazakhs have many similar words in everyday life.
На нашем языке очень много таких слов, которые похожи на ваш язык, на казахский язык.
There are a lot of similar words in our languages. For example, the word habar also means news in our country. We also call bread naan. The words sarai and mahabat have exactly the same meanings in our languages. All these words in Indian usage came from the Turks from Central Asia.
Для любви слово мухаббат. И также у вас тоже есть мухаббат. Да? Таких много слов у нас, которые похожи на ваш язык.
Indians who met with participants in the scientific expedition Trails of Nomads expressed great gratitude to the ancestors of the Kazakhs who made an invaluable contribution to the development of their country. Local scholars with special interests study the history of the Delhi Sultanate, the Mughal Empire, as well as the life of the path of the Turkic rulers, including Muhammad Haidar Dughlat. Rulers who came to India from Central Asia, that is, immigrants from the Turkic Kipchak tribes, didn't take advantage of the position and did not send a penny to their homeland. They invested all profits from the campaigns in the development of Indian land. Facilities that appeared at that time still bring considerable income to the local treasury. The work of the scientific expedition in India is now complete. The next stop is Egypt, where the ancestors of the current Kazakhs left a huge legacy.